Hey there, this is Niels Beardfoot, and today we are making an Antlers crown from leather. For this project we use 2.7mm or 7-ounce wedge tan leather. Transfer the pattern in your size on leather and cut it out. To make cutting out easier, I use a hole punch first in the inner corners to make this simpler. But we also need a few real round holes on this piece. With a beveler we break all the edges and prepare them later on for burnishing. Wedge tan leather can be moistured and then shaped and also textured, and for this we use here a bone folder and go with a lot of strikes just along the way that the antlers goes, and then also go for a few very deep ones. For dyeing I like to use here my airbrush, and this really makes everything pop very well in the end. I start with some medium brown all over it, also on the back side, and then next go with some darker brown over it, but in a light angle. So I create some shadows, and then I do this also with some black, but just very little. Now, to really make this pop, use some high grit sandpaper and go all over it, especially on the tips. To finish it up, I use some resist as finish. Also put it, very important, on the flesh side. This gives it a little bit more stiffness, and also put it on the edges, so now you can burnish them. To harden everything further, we get some hot water here, put these pieces in and take them about 50 minutes later out and let them set for at least 1 or 2 hours. Now we can start shaping. While everything is still moist, we want to bend these lashes together. These will be later on sewn together. Also we want to bend all the pieces in a more or less half round shape. This really makes the 3 dimensions of the crown pop. And after everything dried, this is about what we should have now. These pieces are now quite stiff and they stand very well on their own. To assemble, we start with the big horns and this hole right here, and of these we got 3 here and 3 there, and this is the one that we want. We take a rivet and then we rivet on here. And now we can close this loop by sewing. The other end of the same horn we want to sew here on now. We also could use rivets, but I felt more like sewing would be less impacting on the style in a negative way. What I actually should have done earlier on the horn that we just put on is rivet this strap on here first, before we attach it, but it's fine if you do it now. So ideally you take the rivets first, put them on the horn with the other strap, and then slap it on the rest and be done with it. Note also that in the center it's also sewn together. Same goes for the smaller horns. We just take them and slap them on, and in between we want to weave it a little bit and then sew it together. Or rivet it. As closures, I like to use these head rivets that we simply screw on the end of both straps with a little bit glue as screw stopper. And important here, if you use these as well, is to face them in opposite directions. These head rivets need special little holes with this fin on it. To bring everything perfectly shaped for your head, moisten everything a little bit from the fresh side, then bend it or just put it on your head. Turns out the crown wasn't that comfortable to wear on the forehead, so I had to re-bevel some of the edges, re-dye them, and then use a burnisher to go all over the area just to smooth everything more out to make it nice and comfy. Also, it's important to not wear it too tight. And that's it. This is a relatively simple and beginner-friendly project, and I personally still really liked to craft this because it's just simple and it's really nice in the end. So I hope you enjoyed this project as well. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and also be sure to check out this pattern as well as all my others in the links down below. See you guys next time. Have a great day.